Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. My name is Tanay Tiwari. It's a very, very good morning on a very, very special Sunday because we've got so many reasons to celebrate. It's the festive season. It is India versus Pakistan Day. And then see who we've got back in our studios. PPpedia, of course. But Mr. Zaheer Khan, after so long, welcome along, Zach. How long has it been? It's been what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 years, 6 years? It's been very long.
Counting is your work.
Yeah,
not
correct.
mine.
Which I'm
I
very
just
bad
know
at.
that it's been a very long time. It was before COVID when we did.
Yeah.
I think it was South Africa series.
It was the South Africa series.
And then after that is this.
Yeah.
And what a way to start! Super Sunday, isn't it?
Super Sunday.
The
India
big
versus
one is
Pakistan.
coming later. Yes.
Yeah, correct. How do you like our new studio? We've done some sort of changes here. Got along some
Nice.
champions here, everywhere.
Nice. The base is the same.
Yeah.
The decoration is changed. That's what,
Correct. Yes.
you need to keep on evolving. So that's what Cricbuzz is also doing.
Yeah, that is true. And we've got PPpedia. You know, we've named him PPpedia on Cricbuzz Live because it's like on your phones you've got Siri and OK Google. You ask any query and they respond. Same is the case with PPpedia. You ask any cricketing query, anything.
That's because we go around watch matches, watch international matches, thanks to our boss. So we have to go and watch matches. So we know a lot of players. Yeah, but obviously been watching a lot of games, watching a lot of young players all around the world. So that is the reason. So now, that's just a demo.
No pressure.
No pressure. Just a demo. I'll just ask a question to Tanay, where I'm just showing my knowledge of players.
Okay.
So this guy is a South African born, plays for Ireland. I'm giving a lot of hints. Has played for South Africa under 19, but now he plays for Ireland.
Is it Curtis Camphor?
Hey, you know this.
Josh Little? Josh
It-
Little? Curtis Camphor?
It's not Josh Little.
Curtis Camphor?
It is Curtis Camphor. He's played for South Africa under 19. Now he plays for.
Excuse me, sir. I also watched
And
round
he
one.
was discovered by Neil O'Brien. He
Okay.
was playing somewhere in college, and he discovered that his mother had Ireland passport, so they got him to Ireland.
Nice. I think with all these teams also,
Yeah.
it's about, and with all the cricket players, you want to represent country as well.
Yeah, correct.
That's where you get that satisfaction as well. Yes, franchise cricket is going on, but that passion for the game and playing at the highest level, tournaments like World Cup, the big World Cup, all these things, you kind of find a way of representing a country.
Yeah.
So is the case with David Wiese as well.
Yeah,
Played
correct.
for
Played
South
for South
Africa most of the time, but now
Plays for Namibia.
playing
Yeah.
for Namibia.
Yeah.
So same thing with all the. It's about getting that cricketing satisfaction.
Yeah, that's so true. And Ireland have been at their A game in these mega tournaments. I mean, it's been a while now. Every time they come up to these big stages, they have a way to spring surprises. And this time around as well, in round one, Parthiv, they were really good. I mean, they did have some lopsided results going against them, but apart from that, as a unit, they were still very good.
Yeah, because they play a lot of cricket in England as well. But there are a lot of players who play the leagues all around the world. Someone like Sterling, who's been the main player for Ireland, who's getting a lot of runs. He's getting runs at at the 100, which is another competitive league. That's where he gets runs. And obviously, they have experience of beating bigger sides. They've beat England in a T20 game in England. So yeah, when you play a lot of cricket, when you rub shoulders with players who are experienced, you always get that feeling. You know how to win games. And Ireland certainly have that, and they play a lot of international cricket. Every team which goes to England, they make a point of
Kind of
playing
play,
warm-up
yeah.
games kind of against England. So they've been playing a lot of cricket with bigger sides, and that's how you improve. Like Bangladesh improved, Afghanistan improved because they played against test-playing nations, and that's why I think Ireland has that edge over any other associate teams.
Yeah, that's so true. Today they've won the toss. Yes, this is game one on Super Sunday. Sri Lanka taking on Ireland. Ireland have won the toss, opted to bat first. Let's have a look at their playing 11. Sri Lanka also have a few changes there, but this is Ireland's playing 11. Paul Sterling, Andy Balbirnie, a very solid opening pair. Lachlan Tucker has been raking in runs. Harry Tector, Curtis Camphor, George Dockrell. So they do have a lot of pedigree in that batting order. Gareth Delney was very good with the ball in round one. Mark Adair, Simi Singh, Barry McCarthy, and Joshua Little. So while individually they may not be big stars, but when they come together as a unit, they really punch above their weight. Zach.
Absolutely, and I think more cricket you play, play cricket against bigger sides, help you understand, and also that overwhelming factor is very little then.
Yeah.
When you are usually playing in these kind of tournaments, and you play against the mighty teams, then you can get overwhelmed. You can get under pressure, and then that doesn't bring your A game out. But thanks to the franchise cricket, I think Paul Sterling is a very regular name in most of the leagues. Plays 100 and all these other tournaments as well. Has been making that impact. So as you play quality opposition, you tend to get better. And from Ireland's point of view, they will rely on Paul Sterling. Now won the toss, batting first, so that's a positive sign there. You want to put the best foot forward, and Sterling is going to be the key then for Ireland. If they get the runs on board, then they can put Sri Lankan team under pressure. So to me, I think when you see this format, most of the teams prefer bowling first, but Ireland has decided otherwise. So that's a positive sign. I think they want to take the game head on, and it's always a good sign. So hope they get a good start and a good total. It will be an interesting game.
Yeah, it will be. And you said something really interesting. You said that they don't get overwhelmed, and that is so true, because in their chase in round one, when they knocked the West Indies out, Paul Sterling was just so good. I mean, in that chase, he paced it so well. They got 60 odd in the power play, and that made sure that in a chase of 140, you'd gun down 60 inside the power play. And that shows in numbers also. Paul Sterling is in very elite company, as we just saw, alongside Rohit Sharma and the likes.
He is. If Rahul can just show these numbers again, I think look at the players in this list: Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Martin Kapil, Babar Azam. These are the very regular and great players of T20 format. And here he scored 3,000 runs. And Zach rightly mentioned, he's got an experience of playing all around the world. When you're playing all around the world, you are playing against best of the bowlers. Because in leagues, when you are playing in 11, that means there is always, you either you can play 2 or 3 overseas player, and he finds a place in that side. That means he's good enough to be part of any franchise cricket, and that is the reason why he knows how to pace the inning. He obviously has that positive mindset, but it's not just that first 6 overs. If you can't just score 3,000 runs by playing only first 6 overs, you got to play. You got to know that change gears, attacking, and then take game along. So I think he has all the pedigree. And you talk about Ireland, and there is Joshua Little. He's not little. He's with CSK for a couple of years now as a net bowler, and he's also making rounds in world cricket. So that's where the experience comes into play. The players who are playing all over the world, their inputs in team makes a huge difference, and that is the reason why Ireland, players are rubbing shoulders with teams who are winning tournaments. So that mindset comes into play here.
Yeah, that is so true, because that communication would happen once players like Joshua Little, like Paul Sterling, would go back from these massive units like the CSK, like the Mumbai Indians and the likes, and then go back and perhaps relay that experience to their own team as well, and that starts reflecting at the big stages for these teams.
There are many things, how you prepare for a game. For you to grow as a cricketer, it's important that you learn from the best. So when you're playing these leagues, they get an opportunity to see how they're approaching in terms of, sometimes you just pick up small little things. How a batter is working on a particular weakness. Like, you've seen a lot of batters, they have this different kind of drills. You can understand the mental side of things by having conversations with them. Similarly with bowlers as well. Because in this format, any team can beat any team on any given day. So that is something which is very interesting. You've seen it. Ireland beating West Indies was a classic example of that. So if you just miss out on 2-3 overs and you fall back in the game, sometimes it gets very, very tricky to come out of that. So keeping that in mind, I think Ireland for sure, once they are in Super 12, none of the teams are going to take them lightly for sure. So that is something which I'm looking forward to. I think from this World Cup, the big upset for me so far has been West Indies. Two-time World Cup champions, not been there in Super 12 is a big blow for West Indies cricket, because you've seen the kind of players they've been generating in this particular format. They've known to be a force to reckon with in this format, and for them to be knocked out. And the team which knocked them out is Ireland. And they've done it in 50-over World Cup as well. So certainly a team which is growing in confidence. Certainly a team which has been regularly qualifying. So I think they are on the right track. I think very soon you will see them progress to being a regular feature in international cricket.
Yeah, and it's such a contrast, because West Indies is a team full of individual superstars, and while they may not have had as big names as in some previous editions, they still had some very big names in this T20 World Cup. And yet, Ireland, a team with not as many superstars, beat them, knocked them out. Those were the two-time T20 World Cup champions, the West Indies. But there's another team playing today. It's Sri Lanka, who will, of course, bowl first. Let's have a look at their playing 11. And one big news there is that Pathum Nissanka is unavailable. He will not be playing. So we've got Dhananjaya De Silva, who will open alongside Kusal Mendes. Charit Asalanka slots himself at number 3. Ashane Bandara, of course, comes in, and Bhanuka Rajapaksha is there. Dasun Shanaka is there. Hasaranga, Chamika Karunaratne. Yet again, a Sri Lankan unit that bats very, very deep. Then you've got Binura Fernando, Mahesh Tikshana, and Lahiru Kumara. Sri Lanka would be rueing PP the fact that they've lost out on a lot of players because of injuries as well. Dushmantha Chameera bowled really well in that small stint in round 1. We saw him bowl really well, but then it just didn't translate because that injury.
See, injuries can happen to any fast bowler. You can't, just say that player got injured. You can't do anything about it. And there's Sri Lanka can look at the positive side that they won Asia Cup without Dushmantha Chameera. Yes, he's been their main bowler, but they won Asia Cup without him. So and they have resources. Just when we saw this playing 11, they have variety. They have a leg spinner. They have a mystery spinner in Tikshana, and they have Binura Fernando, who played for Sri Lanka without playing a first class game, not showing off. But yeah,
just saying. Hashtag just saying. Hashtag PPpedia.
And they've got Lahiru Kumara, who's got a lot of pace. So they have a variety of players, and Kusal Mendes coming back into form. He played really well in round 1 game. So and I feel Charit Asalanka is probably underperforming. I think is great potential. Someone who's had a very, very good World Cup in UAE. So I think they have proper side. Maybe yes, they lost a game in round 1, but I think they made a comeback. And that confidence of winning Asia Cup, they will carry that. So every time they would be reminding themselves, we've beaten India, we've beaten Pakistan, and now we've won a tournament. That's a huge thing to do.
Yeah,
they can carry that confidence with them.
Yeah, and there's a pattern. They lost the first game there, and there was a lot of news around it. They lost the first game here. There were a lot of talks around it, and Sri Lanka like, oh, we're going to mute all of you very, very soon. So that confidence it's showing. It's showing in the way Sri Lanka are playing. I mean, even in round 1, you could see it in the body language. And yet, Zach, I mean, to lose someone like Dushmantha Chameera, the engine room of that team, they would have had plans heading into this T20 World Cup. How much does losing a player like Dushmantha Chameera affect those plans?
See, Dushmantha Chameera was carrying a niggle. I think he was the surgery was scheduled. Okay. So Sri Lanka cricket identified that Chameera is an important part of that playing 11, and you can manage that injury. They tried, I think, managing that injury, but they were unsuccessful in doing that. Yeah. So once that happened, that's why Chameera is out. Yeah. So calf strain was just the last blow in that whole plan of Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka cricket has come a long way right now. You see, go a couple of years back, and they were in shambles with regard to the management, with regard to there were too many changes, players coming in and out. There was a lot to be done for them to revive their cricket, and I think they have revived their cricket. Yeah. So they will stick to the processes, is what my feeling is, and not really look at the names which are actually available, not available. Their approach and the mentality has been to stay positive, focus on the processes, and make sure that when you're going out there, you're creating that energy, and that's what you saw in Asia Cup as well. They've been playing qualifiers. They've been playing qualifiers, grinding themselves, and then getting to a position. So that's a good sign when you look at Sri Lankan team. Now they are in Super 12, so it's not about, they're not entering a tournament thinking that they're going to win a tournament. Yeah, they're focusing on all these processes, what is required, what kind of energy, what kind of attitude you want to carry on the field, and that has been working for them. So I think in spite of injuries, I would say they still have enough firepower in them. Wanindo Hasaranga, of course, is going to be the key when you talk about Sri Lanka. And if he's coming along nicely, then they'll surely have a chance. And in this format, again, I'm saying, it's about building that momentum and carrying the team through. Sometimes you might not have the team which looks like a winning team, but you can still do the damage if you get the pieces together. So yeah, from that point of view, I think Sri Lanka, you can't really rule them out.
We usually don't talk about Dasun Shanaka, the captain.
Yeah.
He's had a great performance. He scored very crucial those 30s in 15 balls and stuff.
Yeah.
The way he comes in and bowls 2 overs. But I think his bigger role was as a captain. When Zach spoke about reviving. If you're reviving any team, your captain and coach becomes the main player. What kind of atmosphere you are providing. I'm sure we don't hear too much about them, what kind of atmosphere they've created, but I'm sure they must have created a positive environment around in the team so that you can revive, like someone like Charidasa Lanka, who did not have a great tournament, but they are backing players.
Backing him
But,
again,
that's where captain and coach and the management becomes very big players in
Yeah,
this
that
side.
is so true. That is so true. And that started reflecting in the belief that Sri Lankan team has. I mean, you can just pick it out in the body language. And in round one also, despite that defeat against Namibia, they came back very strong. They're now in Super 12, but they're also circumspect about the injuries. Dasun Shanaka said that we don't want to add to a growing list of injuries. That is why we've rested Pathum Nissanka. We want him fit for the bigger games because remember, they are in what would seem like the tougher group against England, Australia, New Zealand in the same group alongside, of course, Sri Lanka and Ireland. But the one thing that also strikes you as a hallmark of the Sri Lankan team is how deep do they bat, Zach? I mean, something that PP also mentioned, that Dasun Shanaka, he can score those runs because he knows there's still Champika Karunaratne perhaps to come in. Look at that batting lineup. They bat till Champika Karunaratne, and all of them have that pedigree down from Bhanuka Rajapaksha, Shanaka, Hasaranga, and Karunaratne can finish games on their own.
See, 120 deliveries against 120 deliveries. That's how the game is, right? So you just have to figure out that how you can keep on going and keep on pushing that that run rate higher and higher. There's only one way of doing it when your bowlers are actually contributing with the bat, or you have those kind of impact players. So I think Sri Lanka that way have Shanaka and Chamika Karunaratne, who can play that dual role, which really shifts that balance. And I think when you're looking at Sri Lanka, what has been working for them also is that good start.
Yeah,
You set the platform in this format. It's so important to capitalize on those first 6 overs, and equally important for both so batting and bowling. As a bowling unit, you're always talking about if you can get those first 1 or 2 wickets in that 6 overs, you actually have the control on the game, because once the field is spread, it's not easy to just keep on hitting sixes. You have if you have that quality bowling, so that is something which Sri Lanka has been doing well, and if you get a good start, then the deep batting lineup comes really well into play. You can actually put more pressure. You can actually start taking more risk, more chances, knowing that you bat deep.
Especially on these bigger grounds of Australia, it's not going to be a 6 hitting competition. That's where you'll have to start running. Once those 6 overs, if you get about 45 to 50, then you know that it's not going to be 200 or 180, 200 kind of scores. There'll be a lot of scores which will be around 160, 170. That's where the running between the wicket and start becomes very crucial. So I think that's where Sri Lanka's opening pair is something which is a very big plus for them.
Yeah, it will be. While you're talking about starts 150, 160, I know this is the Sri Lanka versus Ireland game, but my mind just keeps racing to the second game of the day, India-Pakistan. I'm thinking, will 160 be enough? Should India get a good start? How will they get a good start? Because it's going to be very crucial. It's that game, India versus Pakistan. How do you not talk about it? I mean, it's Sri Lanka versus Ireland. We have to talk about that. That's game one. But India versus Pakistan, more than 1 lakh tickets sold within what, 5-7 minutes? This will be a packed MCG to the rafters. Not a single seat left. It's going to be some atmosphere at the MCG.
MCG, when you're playing, the atmosphere which can beat this is Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Boxing Day, there's not a single seat which is empty. On a test match day, it's a tradition.
Yeah.
Everyone looks forward to that day, and I think after that, if you're talking about, I'm sure the people in Australia also must be talking about this, because after that kind of ticket sale which they see for the Boxing Day, which tickets are booked well in advance, and similar kind of story, they must be surprised to see this for sure. And that's the magnitude of India-Pakistan game always when you talk about it. So yeah, the atmosphere is going to be terrific. There is no doubt there's going to be a lot of loud noise there in that stadium. It's just like a gladiator ring. It also the stadium is also has got that kind of a feel. So all the players playing in this particular contest, it's going to be a day to cherish for them. Forget the result, the result, the cricket, that will happen. It's also about just remembering the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you win, is going to be icing on the cake,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the team which is going to handle the pressure and handle the nerves with this kind of atmosphere
Yeah.
will certainly come out to be winners.
It's so true. It's so true about remembering the atmosphere. Though I didn't play the 2003 game, but still every time you step onto Centurion, that picture comes in
The image
comes in
comes
front
back.
of you. That image comes in, that Indian flag flying, the kind of noise. Though there would be only 25, 30,000, but still that kind of atmosphere, and you can triple it. Now that was 30,000 here. It's going to be more than 1 lakh. So I think as a player, you thrive onto this kind of, you prepare for this kind of opportunity, right? Where India Pakistan game in a World Cup in front of 1 lakh people, you visualize those kind of things, and you want to do really well. So I'm sure the kind of Indian team we have, they've prepared really well. So it's going to be a day to remember for every player.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory still? 2003 century?
Mine is definitely India Pakistan. That though didn't play, but that was unbelievable.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, that was my first game against Pakistan.
Yeah.
So obviously you can't really erase that memory.
Yeah.
It's been a terrific game, and chasing down 273 in 50 overs on a good track
Against a very good attack.
against a very good attack. You look at that attack. You have Wasim, Waqar, Shoaib. So it can't get bigger than that, and to have chased down that total on that in that kind of under that kind of pressure was something special, and that World Cup was very special. So all see these games always are milestone games.
Yeah.
For you to change the momentum also, like for India in this World Cup, if they're winning this first game, just imagine the kind of confidence they will carry through, and the kind of momentum they will generate, which will just see them through. Then it's going to be that much easier for you to carry on through the tournament. So this game from that point of view is going to be a very big game for India in this World Cup.
Yeah. So when you were playing these India-Pakistan games, was there one player in the unit who was extra pumped to play against Pakistan, or was it just the unit that was just extra pumped because of the atmosphere around the game?
Everyone is extra pumped because look at the noise around the match. You go anywhere, people will be talking about it. Pakistan ka match jeetna hai. And you look at any two people right now who is into sports sitting, they will be talking about they'll be talking about India Pakistan. Doesn't matter what else is happening. Even if you don't know cricket, you will know about India Pakistan game today, and you will know about it's World Cup's first game. So I think the eyeballs glued to the screen is going to be unbelievable in numbers.
Yeah, everyone's watching. The world is watching.
Absolutely. I think if I can give an example, my wife used to tell me if I get out on one day game, they'll say no worries, second inning aayega. Because she's also talking about India Pakistan game.
It's that kind of hype around this game, but also around Team India, there's some questions. Now, on Cricbuzz Live, we've been petitioning for Shami to be included in Team India. We've had this chatter for what, 7-8 months now? And thankfully, not thankfully really, unfortunately for Team India, because Jasprit Bumrah missed out, Mohammad Shami came in. But Zach, for you, does he walk into the playing 11 today against Pakistan?
Well, it's hard for me to say right now, right? If I'm part of the team there, if I'm seeing someone bowl, then it's an easier choice. From here you can only back what team management is thinking, because you got to be there in the nets, you got to be seeing which bowler is in form, what kind of confidence one bowler is carrying. If you look at the lead up to the World Cup and the plans which we've kind of been trying to understand from whatever we've been seeing, different matches, different playing 11s, different tactics. From that point of view, Shami was not part of the in the mix of the things.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So that was surprising, but he was not. So that is something which you have to consider. Is that the case that Arshdeep is going to start this tournament because he's the one who's been giving the been given that confidence. So I'm thinking maybe Bhuvneshwar, Harshal and Arshdeep is someone who will start the tournament. unless if Shami is bowling really well in the nets, he's recovered completely from COVID, and now you think that you need experience for a big tournament, then there will be a choice between Harshal and Arshdeep. I think between them, Shami will come into play. So that's something which I feel, and also the conditions also dictate how your playing combination is going to be. That most of the team is settled. Most of the teams that okay, these are the players who are going to be part of the playing 11. But those one or two tactical changes are dependent on various factors. So we'll have to wait and see. Whatever it is, you have to back the management and whatever you're seeing, because they are the one who are in close proximity to understand exactly who is going to be that person. Whether it comes off or it doesn't come off, that's secondary. But it's important that you make the call on that information. And right now, once you are in the tournament, not really rely on okay, we were planning. That is the call they have to make. You don't want to be caught in your thinking that because you've been doing that, you have to do this. The fact is that you have to have that pivot. Bumrah ideally should have been the key member of that bowling unit. He would have carried the bowling. He would have set that tone. But now when he's not there, that's not in your hand. So are you going to stick to still the processes which you've been following, or are you just going to right now say that pivot? Okay, need of the hour is this. If that is the case, then Shami will come into play.
I think it all depends. So once you're picking 15 players, that means everyone is good enough to be part of playing 11. So it's going to be, right, as Zach said, it's going to be a tactical thing. Whether if a wicket like Sydney, if India is playing in Sydney against Bangladesh, where we saw yesterday, ball was gripping, so that's when Harshal's slower ones comes into play, even bigger boundary around square both the sides. And in Melbourne, maybe just because of the humidity and the rain, maybe if ball might, if you get moistured wicket, that's when maybe Shami comes in. So it's all about making that tactical changes, and I feel that Bhuvneshwar and Arshdeep definitely will start. And the choice would be between Mohammad Shami and Harshal Patel.
Well, we'll keep talking about this game. We will keep talking it up, but right now it's time for the joy factor question of the day. Let's have a look, and I'll tell you, Zach, PPPDR shows off here also. He cracks these questions, sends the answers on our WhatsApp group. The question of the day is, which cricketer was born in a country playing today, studied engineering in a country that played in round 1, and is currently playing for a third country altogether? All right.
That's a tough one. It's either Sri Lankan or Ireland player. That hint we know.
That's Joyda.
Joyda, if I understand the question, then I put my mind to it.
If I don't, then no
Leave
problem.
it.
Zach and I are on the same team. I just read out the question. I don't even make an effort. Kyun karna? But PPPDR, you're very close. I know you will send a WhatsApp message. I know you will. But before we go, Ireland are batting first. Let's have score predictions, gentlemen. In Hobart against Sri Lanka, how many Ireland making? 20 overs.
I'll go with 165, I think.
165.
Good track.
Yeah.
Usually is a batting friendly track. Yeah.
I was going to 160, but now that he said 165, I'm going to go 155. You got to give that 10-run margin.
Yeah, that is true. Well, I'll go 175. Yeah. Equal. 155, 165, 175. That's that then, but it's the big day. It's India versus Pakistan. We'll come back, keep talking about it. Come back at the 10th over mark with Cricbuzz Combox, of course. That's all on Cricbuzz Live. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, PP, for joining in. Thank you to all of you as well. We'll see you super soon.